Yeah, future so rap. What's up? Welcome to the Weird Couch. This is Fridays on the Couch. I am EQ, and I'm here with Joe and Kris. Yeah. We apologize for there being a delay. Only slightly apologize because honestly, life happens, man, and we put in the work, but sometimes you got to take a step back. Kris had his baby boy, Ethan Avery. That's a name going someplace right there. Well, that's awesome. When at first I heard it, I was like, man, am I the only dude that watches Grey's Anatomy that gets that reference?
No,
I was like, no, I'm sure other people will get that. Other dudes will get that reference.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of go old school with the name. Everybody is naming their kid, some consonant with the part Aiden attached to it. So it's like, Jaden, Caden, Maiden, that whole thing. So I was trying not to go there. Or Asen, Kasen, Mason, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't trying to go that route either. So, we were trying to have some originality. In which case, we decided to steal from a TV show. So there you go.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're in better shape now.
Okay, I got a question.
That's good. What's the question, Joe?
What is everyone's take on weed?
On weed?
Just curious. Well, no, I'm pretty sure.
This is a good question because
we're just gonna jump right in on that, huh?
I'm gonna take the lead on this one because for the longest time, I don't smoke weed. It's not my bag. And despite the jokes and the laughter, I'm not gonna. Yeah. Anyways, despite the joke and laughter, weed is not my bag. And for the longest time, I was super against weed because everybody was like, "Oh, weed's the greatest. It's better than alcohol. It's better than cigarettes. Better than this." My personal experience with weed was always negative. So one is my uncle told me straight to my face that he would sell my grandmother, his mother, to get high, to get a bag of weed, right? And I've run into a bunch of different people who had that same mentality. I will do anything to get high. I will do anything to be high because it's so awesome. And that's the mentality that I did not like. Therefore, that mentality and weed went hand in hand for me, and I didn't like it. The second thing is that because of what I saw from being a young person, what I saw it doing to the people around me or whatever. And this isn't I'm not trying to put you on blast, Kris, and if it does sound like that, I will make sure to edit that out of the video. But when we were younger, Kris smokes, and we had a lot of friends that smoked weed, and it was, hey, do you guys want to hang out? And it's like, yeah, let's hang out. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. And for someone who doesn't smoke weed, and then the idea of hanging out was going to do something, and then all of a sudden it was just like I was the oddball out, and we weren't doing shit. We were just sitting there. Everybody's getting high, and it was just like, this is not this is not my bag. This sucks, And so I've had even when I was in Mississippi, it was like, oh, you want to hang out? Can we make this pit stop real quick? And we go make a pit stop, and then that's where we would be at for a while. And then instead of going to do what we were going to do, we'd end up going back to the house or to my friend's house, whatever. And that's what was going on. And it was just like I totally don't want to do this right now. I want to do something else. Give me a second. Random topic. What is today's date?
17th.
17th September. So that's that was the big thing. But there was bad experience and bad experiences. It wasn't just one or two. It was compounded throughout my life, where everything that I saw and everything that I observed, there was nothing good really coming from weed, except for the individual who was smoking it because they felt good, they was high, they was enjoying life, they was fuck the future, and we're just gonna happy-go-lucky. And the mentality that I had was, you can't be happy-go-lucky all the time because life happens and you can't just ignore it, and that's what I felt. But as I've gotten older, over the last, I would say 10 years, really, of different things popping up here and there, I still believe that not everybody should smoke weed. because they don't have the mentality, the maturity, or the mindset to have that in their life, because it ruins them, despite all the commercials, things like that, if you're somebody who smokes weed and all you do all day long is smoke weed and sit on the couch or fucking in your bedroom and you're playing video games and there's no drive and you're not trying to gain knowledge or maturity or experience in anything, then I think it's a negative thing. But what I've seen, the videos, the research that has been done on marijuana, on THC, like the what is it called, Kris? The oils.
CBD.
Yeah, there you go, CBD, with kids with epileptic seizures and other diseases. That wasn't on purpose. I stutter sometimes. Kids with diseases, adults with diseases, pain management, all those kinds of things. The medical uses for marijuana, I totally agree with. I do not agree with somebody who has no. Then this is also a very personal thing, like from the military guys who are like, oh, I'm just gonna go feign some medical stuff so I can get discharged and get that medical disability for the rest of my life. Like, I don't like people lying when it comes to medical stuff. So going to get your card when you have no medical reason at all whatsoever to have that medical card just so you can legally get it and smoke and get high all the time and get the best weed you can possibly get from one of the dispensaries because you have your card, I think that's bullshit. You're taking something that has the potential to be massively beautiful for the human race, and you're perverting it down to something shitty.
So anyway, yeah. So my cabin to what EQ was saying was that everything that he was saying in terms of negative interaction is doubly true for alcohol, which it definitely is. And it is also true. It's not for everyone. Nothing is for everyone. And so I think if you really try and do too much to prevent things before they have an opportunity to happen, then we're treading in dangerous water at that point. So attacking people's personal freedoms and trying to take away something that now that we are legalizing it slowly but surely, we're finding out is mostly, if not altogether, harmless. So if a person can come home from work and drink a bunch and smoke their cigarettes and smack their wives, I think we should probably turn the camera on those people first.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, because the topic's about weed, so that's what I was focused on, was weed. But you're absolutely right. There's so many things in this world that are addictive and have negative impacts on people's lives, from prescription pills to alcohol to porn.
Right, and so what you're talking about is a psychological condition. What you're talking about are people that just have, they just have probably a genetic predisposition to being addicted. We're all pretty simple. There's a mouse up there just pushing on buttons that feel good. Whatever stimulates the mouse, that's what we do. Our brains control everything, and it just wants to feel good. And I'm not making an excuse, and that's addict talk, and that's kind of what I'm trying to draw a point to, is that people are so, we're complicated beings, but in terms of how our brains work chemically, man, it's a pretty simple equation, and especially when it comes to not to minimize addiction. That's a dangerous road to go down too. That's not what I'm saying, but it's an easy road to go down. Is basically what I'm getting at.
I really don't understand addiction.
You don't what? Understand addiction?
I don't understand addiction. Okay, so addiction in my book, I don't have addictive personality. That's just me. Like, I think people get mad at me for cigarettes. So I'm like, if I don't feel like smoking cigarettes, I elect to stop smoking a cigarette. And it's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I get a craving and I just don't do it. As far as going back to weed, like that.
Oh, well, and I wanted to finish up with the CBD, part of the discussion. Was that, that is beneficial. And the CBD portion of it is the non-psychological impacting portion of it. But the unfortunate truth is that in order for that to even do its job, there has to be a certain percentage of THC, which is the psychoactive portion. In order for it to be effective, it's a catalyst, in a sense. So there's really no way around eliminating THC, in terms of even medical use. The other thing is a lot of times, even people, especially people with cancer, they're smoking it for pain relief. Yeah, sure, the CBD is going to do a lot to help them with their pain, chemically, biologically. But being stoned is a fair enough distraction that if you can forget that you have cancer for a couple hours, I'm sure they don't mind that either.
No, definitely don't mind that.
And so at the end of the day, the negative dialogue, surrounding pot is old. It's old talk. It's archaic. Where I live right now, there's at least 3 places within walking distance. It's not impacting our communities negatively. The government, they have their hand in the pocket, so they're getting a great deal of revenue. A Google search will show you. But in terms of personal use, I'm not, narrowing it down, not talking so much about the global or the widespread impact. I think it just comes down to choice. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't do it. I'm not gonna, I don't walk around with dreadlocks and Rasta. I only understand addiction.
I heard
in
you.
like the
Go.
amateur psychologist.
You can tell me when I'm done.
Sense. Whereas going to college is giving me a little bit of insight as to, how the electrochemical connections happen in the brain. You're gonna take A&P. Have you taken A&P?
I've taken A&P 1 and 2.
Yeah. Have you already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you talk about the neurons and their connections and the different chemicals. Right. Yeah. And and most of these things, they affect the dopamine pathways in your brain. They replace chemicals that your brain already naturally produces. And our bodies are hip enough to know that if we're providing ourselves with something it already makes, it goes, hey, I don't have to work so hard. You're already giving me this, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down since you go ahead and giving it to me. And that's where they run into issues, and I think that's addiction in an essence. Even if that comes from feeling a great sense of reward, which like some people that have odd addictions, they're addicted to that reward center in the brain, which is associated with the same chemicals as opiate addiction. But weed has its own pathways. It's the only substance found in nature that actually has its own neurological pathways in our brain, and it's different in every person.
Nicotine.
Nicotinic receptors are actually throughout the brain, and they're involved in even like the muscular contractive process. Nicotinic receptors are all throughout the brain, and they affect all kinds of different systems throughout the body. Yeah.
Huh. Gotta do some research on that one.
That's my understanding. Hey, like I said, amateur.
This is all amateur speak.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Don't quote us on any of this. This is
like I'm saying, my understanding is that not just THC but cannabinoid receptors are their own pathway, and there's nothing else out there that stimulates those things. And then to a point I wanted to make earlier about it affecting people differently. Those cannabinoid receptors actually are spread throughout the brain differently in each person. So when you ingest, the psychoactive ingredient, right? You ingest some THC, it's gonna highlight, it's gonna activate some areas in your brain that might cause you to have that negative experience. That might make you feel a sense of panic, an overwhelming sense of euphoria, but to a sense of helplessness, and which rapid heart beating and things like that. Whereas somebody else, it might make them want to paint something. It might make them want to write music. It might make them want to zone out on Grand Theft Auto for 4 hours. So it is. It's different for.
I don't need weed to zone out on.
So it's right. So I don't know. There's a lot that to be learned. There's still a lot to be said. But I think if if something's going to be demonized, I guess, is my default position. If something's going to be demonized, let it be the things that are killing people, the things that are causing violence in the communities, and it's not pot. It's harder drugs.
Well, killing pot.
Yeah.
I have a caveat thought to that because personal and I said I agree with everything you said. Like my whole thing was it's not about attacking weed because, like I said, over the last 10 years, I've learned and experienced new things when it comes to those that stuff. And I know if my daughter had a sickness or a family member like my pops being in pain all the time, like I'm all for him, smoking weed, if that was an option for him, so that he can have better pain management. And so the topic is weed. So, but yes, what we're talking about here, the negative aspects of it, definitely, alcohol and all that good stuff. But as far as the thing is weed itself. Here's weed. Weed itself. It's natural and it is not bad. On a singular level, not bad. But to say that there's no negative impact because of weed, not because of weed itself, but you got to think about the drug cartels and the gangbangers and the people slinging it outside of the shops. And things like that. There is a connection to the sale of weed and who's in charge of that, and there being dangerous stuff. So
right. So that is true. That is true where you live. That is true. But if history's an indicator, then back during Prohibition, when mostly it was the mafia and it was organized criminals that were involved in the production and movement of alcohol. The same things were true there. It wasn't until it became legalized, Prohibition was ended. Do you see anybody getting beat up and stoned? Petty theft, sure, but is it really like a big heist to get a couple of bottles of liquor from Safeway? It is not. So the same thing. Is that a symptom of the poor management that the state of California is doing with the situation?
Let it begin! Let it begin!
Umbrella, and a lot more people are eligible for that stay at the prison.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
I don't want to go.
I'm sorry,
down the rabbit hole.
Conversation. I ain't even had an input yet.
I know. I was thinking about this like 5 minutes ago.
Y'all
Kris
was
still talking.
Y'all I'm like, damn.
I was actually.
Chance. I was the black person.
Okay, so because Joe's gonna pull the racist card.
Oh no, I was gonna ask why you asked. Yeah, well, no, that was why I was gonna say. I want to know what Joe, what he thinks, because he was the one that brought it up. But I just wanted to, get my position out there, because you give your position, then I get my position, and since you're the one that brought it up, you can wrap it up.
I get in this conversation now. All right.
We're an ass, but you're an ass.
No,
Joe,
so I'm just kidding.
Welcome to the couch. What is your input on weed?
What's your position?
Thank you. Well, my input on weed, since you asked,
there you go.
There's good things, there's bad things. That's with anything. Just with hold that thought.
All right, folks, we are back after the break, and Joe is going to wrap things up here with his thoughts, views, and slate-tude. Look at that attitude on his face. Do you guys see that attitude on his?
I can talk.
No.
Sorry. I got.
I'm not giving you permission to talk. This is
BS.
not a white guy telling a black guy he could talk. This is, hey Joe, go for it, man.
I was playing my DS. Y'all were in y'all whole conversation. Okay. All right. So weed, right? Weed, I think it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. Look, just like any substance. We talking about alcohol. You got. It's good in light consumption, but then you can take it overboard. Weed, same thing. I've seen people smoke themselves stupid. Literally slow. And that's getting to the extreme. It's like, dude, you tripping. You need to calm down. And I've seen people who use it for medicinal use and people who use it for recreational use, just get high, just have fun. It's like alcohol. I have a medical card, which is great, but I really don't partake every once in a while. But I can't function on weed, sativa or indica. I can. I'm not gonna say I can't function. I can't be productive on it. And that's the major problem. Everybody's like, you should smoke weed for your pain. For all y'all don't know, I had back surgery a couple years ago when I'm in constant pain. And they prescribe me opiates, and it's all good. Or, opioids. Oxycodone, Percocet. Yay. I can function on that. It takes the edge off the pain. I can function every day. But weed, I can be productive. That's the key word. I can be productive on oxycodone. If I'm on weed, I can't be productive. I'm just like, shit eating grin.
That face.
And I'm enjoying life. I can't, if I can sit here and try to read, my school book be like, I'm not getting shit. This is weed. These pages feel nice. But
Oh man.
I guess everybody say I should try the CBD oil. I've tried the creams. Those are nice, but I just can't be productive. I don't know who can. I don't know how people do it. It's just not in me. See, I hate you. If I could, I would. But I mean, it's fun for recreational use. People out there getting high. You in your home. We're in Washington. It's legal. As long as you're out there running around on the street, it's all good. So I guess this is my take on weed. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Everybody has their own thing. Just don't smoke yourself stupid. Down south, where I'm from, there's this big stigma about weed and this whole gateway drug BS. I don't see myself. If you start off on weed and you smoke big weed or whatever, most people just stay on weed. I mean, you have those people who graduate to the meth and coke and cocaine and all that stuff like that, but those are the people who want to try that stuff anyway. People who smoke weed is like, I'm good with my weed. I'm straight with my weed. Which is it's all good. I mean, it's stupid. Yeah, I think it leads back to the when they started what am I looking for? Basically, when they went back and it was like, remember those commercials, those old school commercials? They went and said that weed was like, I guess you went like crazy and people jumping out windows and commit suicide and stuff like that.
Oh, you're talking about old propaganda. You're talking about like Reefer Madness.
I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
But yeah, they I think it goes back from that. It's stupid, and there's so many beneficial things to weed. I mean, like EQ was saying, epilepsy, and I mean, you can find a strain of weed to help with so many different ailments in the world: arthritis, insomnia,
eating disorders,
fibromyalgia, eating disorders. I mean, my mom, she smokes weed just so she can eat.
Now that we have more adults partaking in consuming weed, it's definitely changed the way that it's described and the way that it's discussed. It has a lot of parallels to wine in the sense that there's a lot of different flavor profiles that different kinds of wines will have. And it can be, as distinct as like, this has like a cherry leather tobacco taste kind of a thing, and that's how they describe wines. And while it doesn't really sound very good, some of that stuff's actually magnificent. I like a good glass of wine. But anyway, I digress. But that's how they're describing the weed these days. Is you have all of these strains and all of these different combinations of strains, and even flavors change based on which part of the plant you're getting it from, the top, middle, or lower portion. And so you're using all of these, descriptive words and all of this descriptive phrasing, and it's becoming more of a mature conversation when you're talking about it. It's not as simple as it was back, in Stockton when you're talking to your friends, like, oh, is this good? Oh man, it's bomb. It's bomb.
Fire.
And I don't know.
It's that fire.
Yeah, it's that fire, right? And I don't know exactly what fire tastes like, but I'm gonna give it a go. And that was kind of the mentality. So. I mean, it's something that's definitely evolving again.
I like that. Matter of fact, I like the way they put it when it came to. I just scratched the hell out of myself. When they the way they made it as far as laws go. I mean, being 21 and older is actually good, just like alcohol. And
right.
But you still it's easier for the younger generation, the younger kids to get. That's what kills me. I mean, it's easier for them to get weed than it is alcohol. At least we're around here, and it's ridiculous. I mean, I wish that they made it a little harder to acquire.
Yeah, but you know what? Teenage kids had it before it was legal anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so much easier now.
Yeah. At the same time, if a group of teenage kids are getting around and getting stoned, I think it's again we're talking different degrees of acceptability. I would much rather that than sitting around drinking bottles of vodka or
I wouldn't like either one, honestly. I mean, kids are gonna be kids. If they're gonna smoke, they're gonna smoke. But I mean, it's the whole thing of at what age does the brain stop? Basically, I mean, the frontal lobe stop developing. It's like 20 something.
Yeah, they want you to be in like your early 20s. It's like 21 to 25 is like
Yeah.
when things are finally done. They want you, they're saying that you should be 18. I didn't even start messing with it until I was 18.
Yeah, but the little
I
kids are
was
messing with it.
on my
and
bicycle all the time.
brain still developing. That's what kills me. I'm like, hey, y'all need to slow down.
Right. And again, though, that comes down to parenting. It comes down to parenting. Having the conversation with your kids, and I'm not telling you how to parent, but just speaking generally, it's like anything else. It's probably not as difficult as the porn conversation you're going to have at some point.
I didn't have
Although
all those conversations.
You have daughters, though, right?
I had
Do you have
daughters
any
and
sons?
boys. Yeah, I got 2 sons. I didn't.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
being a step parent, it's not a really hard conversation. I had a conversation with all of them, and their mom is like so taboo about sex. So I had the conversation with all. Hey, what y'all want to know? Ask your questions. It's, get them from me. You can get some wild stuff out there in the street, and they don't know what they're talking about from your friends. But yeah,
Right.
we talk about some crazy stuff. They have kids. When you're starting to get older, he gonna have some crazy questions. What's anal sex? What? What do you mean?
Where'd you hear that? Terrible.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. What's an orgasm and what's fisting? Whoa, hold on now. Calm down.
No more
How do you even know
smartphone
to
for
ask
you.
that question. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some crazy questions about me, but I think it's good.
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook.
To sum up what you were saying, the fight is opposite. We're not trying to remove the taboo that what's associated with alcohol and opiates. We're actually trying to get pot in the club, right? Because right now, alcohol and opiates aren't demonized.
Actually, I would
They're
argue.
huge.
I would argue
They're
against the
huge
opiate
revenue
stuff.
sources for the
It's
government.
being demonized. I mean, it was like, you shouldn't, Gia, go.
Oh,
You shouldn't. They cutting back on prescribing opiates and oxycodone and Vicodin and Percocet because of this.
Right.
Because Gia, go now.
I'm getting my chop.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is being demonized. I mean, because people are addicted, like hardcore addicted to these things, and I think that is a gateway drug because people, they get addicted and then the doctors cut them off and then they try to get that fix. They try to get the high and they get heroin. They get
heroin.
They start buying pills off the street.
Straight
They
up.
start doing cocaine. I think that is a gateway drug versus marijuana.
Okay, so perfect segue into what I was going to bring up. How do you guys feel about powdered alcohol?
There's
Is that a thing?
That is a thing. That is a thing that's currently being fought to nail to outlaw.
Okay, so
Powdered alcohol.
I've heard of the breathing in alcohol for like what do they call that?
Nope. I'm saying hey man, here's a razor blade, chop me up 2 lines of Jack
I'm going to
Daniels.
comment on that as soon as I'm going to say it's one thing because when you said, is that a thing? It reminded me of the man weave. And I was like, is that a thing? Y'all Google the man weave. It's like crazy. Men are getting weaves now. So back to this whole alcohol thing. Yeah, man weaves. It tripped me out. False advertising for men now. Ain't that some shit?
Man.
And it looks totally real. But okay, so I know.
Hey,
So
equality,
chopping up
bro,
these lines
equality.
of Jack Daniels and some Jim and lovely brothers, that is crazy to me. I mean, people will find any way to get a fix now.
So how does that change the social scope, right? Because now instead of inviting somebody over to have a cocktail, it's now turned into doing lines of vodka. It's now turned into, you know what I'm saying? Like that changes the social. So why is alcohol, acceptable in these situations? Because you can sip on it and have a conversation.
Yeah, instead of having a damn flash, you got
something as
powder
simple
in
as
this damn thing.
something. You can take a bump anytime
That's
you get your drunk
ridiculous.
on.
That's just insane. That's something I hadn't even seen
I'm
pop
Googling
up
this.
on my
This is
Facebook
crazy.
feed for no reason at all. Powdered alcohol.
Right?
I remember
Powdered
seeing a
alcohol.
BuzzFeed video where they got drunk off of like alcoholic air. Like they inhaled out there, you know, and they and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? This is insane.
I'm
So now we
looking
got
powdered alcohol.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
25
is
states
going
have
to hell in a
banned powdered
handbasket.
alcohol. They acted without knowing anything
Yep.
about the product. What in the world is this world coming to? They have made these scientists and chemists are crazy. They will come up with anything nowadays. I'm down.
Oh, I'm still waiting for the patches off of Doctor Who, so you could just stick a patch on your neck and be like, "Look at me, I'm happy," or look at me, I'm sleepy. Like I want the patches.
In March-
That's what I want.
In March 2015, 4 products labeled for specifically powdered alcohol products were approved by the United States Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, which opened the doors for legal product sales. However, as of January 4, 2016, the product is not yet available for sale and legalization remains controversial due to public health and other concerns. I mean, yeah, anytime you introduce a new product and you change the actual natural form of anything, I mean, there's going to be health concerns. There's health concerns about weed. There's health concern about alcohol when it first came out. That's why the whole prohibition and all that crap. I mean, there's health concerns about any drug. I mean, until it's tried and tested and true, and there's been time to actually, I guess, figure out the side effects, like with the vape pens and everything. There's always going to be some side effects with something. Anything you put in your body, there's going to be something going on. That's to me.
Side effects, people. It's real.
Yep.
They're real. Well,
Yep.
I think this is an outstanding conversation. I'm pretty sure, like 95% of the time, we're all on the same page. Even though we have a different viewpoint or different experiences with it
Right.
early on in our life or whatever. And I do hope that the taboo does get removed. I'm all for that. I still don't want a doctor, and I still don't want an officer to be pulling me over while he's high. Now, if he's on CBD oil, and for whatever, like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But just the idea of someone doing something like that while they're on THC is like, shit, I'm not allowed to do my job, even with, prescription pain pills and things like that, and I can't have a drink at work. So, like, I don't even know. If they were like, yep, you can be on CBD oil and a little bit of THC at work, I don't know if I'd be able to do it because it'd fuck with my brain. I'm like, what are you at? I'm slightly high at work. Like, this is ridiculous. Like I'd fuck myself up. So that's.
Oh, that's how it is on pain pills too. I've been in that situation where you take something and you're just like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't really like how this is treating me.
Yeah, like
So, yeah,
I don't
I mean,
like. I don't even like that either. Like I have taken the pain pills.
I'm on pain pills now. It's been great having you all here sharing with us on the
That's
weird
a thing.
couch. It's been fun.
Damn.
I think EQ has some things for you. Kris, you the man. Keep doing what you do. EQ, over to you.
Awesome. So yes, great conversation, gentlemen. I totally appreciate it. It's fun being back on the kick. Everybody, thanks for joining us. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave a comment down below. Email us, theweirdcouch@gmail.com. Kris?
Yeah, you can find me Casey Young.
What is it?
24. Yep, at Twitter.
Okay.
Yep, at
and
Twitter. That's not a thing. It's at
Yeah.
Casey Young 24. That's my Twitter handle.
Are you high?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
yeah.
everybody, so got the Patreon page up. Just search The Weird Couch. Please be awesome for you guys to support. We now have The Weird Couch song. Joe wanted this one. This is Joe's favorite one right here. We have The Weird Couch Boy Shorts. This is Chris's favorite one.
Alright, dibs.
And these are mine. The Weird Couch, and I still don't know what the fuck these things are called because they're like the tidy whities for dudes. but they're chicks. You know, they got the pink in there or whatever.
They are
And
boy shorts, but they are something.
We got the Weird Couch hoodie.
Yeah.
We're gonna be working on. I have two. I get this off the line from UberPrints.com. This is not a paid advertisement, but they're awesome. They're quick and they're speedy. I have 2 other T-shirt people that I'm going to be talking to because they want to do business with us, which is awesome. And we're going to be working on some colors other than white. But first, we want to get these out because that's the logo, that's the scheme, the white background, and the whole couch. And then as soon as the new colors, we get that all squared away, we'll have those out. We'll have bow ties, we'll have hats, we'll have a whole bunch of other shit for you guys. Also, on the page, we now have a donate button. So if you want to donate to the cause, to the Weird Couch, you can go to the YouTube page and just click on the donate button. It'll be a one-time donation. If you want to continue to donate on a monthly basis, go to Patreon, and you can donate any amount you want down to $1, and it'll be a monthly donation that'll help us with our production so that we can fly back and forth and shoot all together instead of having to do it the way that we have been doing it. It'll help us with gear and be able to do better and more things for you guys. More topics, more videos.
More content.
Content, thank you. Yes, we've got to put more content, and it'll pay for my lessons on what the fuck to say whenever I'm on camera.
Teleprompter.
Yes, a teleprompter. So, again, thank you guys for joining us here. Fridays on the Couch. We'll see you guys next week.
Go play record.
Yes, and I need my thong. Give me my thong. Send me my thong.
If I send you the thong, you gotta wear it, bro.
Oh, hell no. You got me up.